Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Cast on the Fly. My name is Cassandra Vaynerchuk, and we're here at the location of our studio, and we're creating some content. We've been creating content all morning on Twitter, actually, which is a huge political. It's a huge political campaign against Hollywood and content creators, as Hollywood and content creators are now intertwined. And since we have a democratic government system at this time, we don't have democracy, we don't have fair play, we don't have safe work environments. And this is not just at the top when it comes to politics, nor is it just in Hollywood. And let's not forget the fact that the movies that are being produced at this time are the worst in fucking history, with no creativity, no plot lines, nothing but sex and violence. And literally we're watching Euphoria, which is nothing more than a pornography, while they then go on their platforms and proclaim it to be so sophisticated. So the important structure and knowledge is knowing that the meat and potatoes of education do come from books. So the downplay of people going to education and going to school is literally now seen on content creators, meaning we have a lot of content creators who have never read a book. They've never read an article. So articles used to be long. So I remember in high school, one of the requirements in class was to go into the newspaper and take a news clipping and bring it into class, and then you had to go over the news clipping and discuss it. And I hated doing it because I really actually hated. I wasn't ever really interested in politics. And so we would bring in articles. It had to be politically based, which was I think it was a black teacher I had. It was absolutely brilliant because it actually got us thinking on our own, associated to a newspaper, which back in those days, news media was still slightly biased. Because you can never really hide a person's opinion, because it's basically what they want to show you in evidence. So you as a reader have to know facts versus opinion, and you have to learn how to separate the two. So that experience allowed me to learn how to see facts over opinion. As we've progressed into modern day society and we utilize the internet as our source of news and YouTube, and we piece together opinionated articles with violence all intermingled within our internet structure, which then creates complete catastrophic behavior. Then we have foreigners in this country who think that they're now American because they're standing on the soil. However, their mindset is still the mindset of a Venezuelan. An example is a woman at the grocery store. There's an unspoken learned behavior of our ancestors. And I know this sounds really ridiculous if you're American, but not if you're a foreigner. I literally walk the aisles and give these people dirty looks. You should see the mass chaos and catastrophe at the Walmart store in my hometown, associated to how immigrants are overtaking this country. And I'm in Georgia. See, Hollywood and prostitutes aren't having to deal with it because they have people who shop for them. They go to upscale places that nobody can afford. So it doesn't make two shits of a difference whether the borders are open. They have no impact. It has no impact on them except more cheap labor, more ability for their government, known as the Democrats, to win an election so that they can get more free shit and can get away with more free shit, and that they can perform more sex acts in public and wear less clothing to fuel agendas, to fuel their vaginas. And they don't give a shit. They don't really care. It's more than I'm trying to create it in a way that you can know how little they give a shit. They just don't give a shit. It's literally them sitting back. Well, how many views did we get on that post? Well, why did we only get 1,000 views? Well, that's fucked up. Blah, 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 blah. And then they scream and yell. But guess what they're yelling at? They're not actually yelling at the staff. They're actually yelling at the fact that they didn't get people to do what they wanted them to do. That's called control, isn't it? However, it's a weaved web of psychosis that's hard to find your way out of and unravel because their big fucking saggy titties are all up in your face. It's not just about the bit, like you can look at a big piece of saggy titty and think that's disgusting. That's the old way we used to think. God, it's fucking disgusting. Nasty, 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 nasty. But we all know that people in Germany believed that Jewish people should be executed, didn't they? Somehow, I like to go back to this, not like to, but I go back to this because I want to bring awareness into the ability of one person amongst Gestapo to convince Germans that Jewish people were less than them. Now, take a look at Kim Kardashian, who's done training experiences with her family and her sisters, where they hired a media company to come in to practice having conversations in uncomfortable situations. This is very much what a lawyer does, by the way. Although a good lawyer fights for freedom of the American people, she just fights for her own pussy. You sitting across from her, this is her skill. You're not self-aware. You feel like you're less than her because she has more money than you, she has more clout than you, she has more power than you. To where she then convinces you that she is better than you and that you want to do everything that she says to you, but she'll also convince you that you want to sleep with her even though she's disgusting. Now that's taking it to a different extreme, meaning she plays herself in the audience to get you all involved too. She tried to get Tom Brady to go on dates with her to create a new relationship. And he said, hell fucking no. So then she shows up to the Reform Party to try again. That's her playing coy. There's a new guy, and I forget what you do. She said she has an attraction now to a black guy. And he says to her, he's like, I'm just way too busy to date. So she got turned down again. But that's the way that these women initiate, this is particularly her, how these women initiate contact with these men in the DMs. Well, I kind of think Leonardo DiCaprio is cute, as Ellen promotes it on her show. Would you date Leo or John Mayer? John Mayer. John Mayer just happens to be single. Kourtney Kardashian. So then everybody's like, I wonder if they're going to date. In their minds. Not playful, having some fun. You know, it's literally a strategy for content creation, which then dumbs down emotions and numbs out an audience, yet reminding you they do not care. Plots against their children, standing on street corners in inappropriate settings and locations by themselves so that she can network with dudes and men like a prostitute. So, you know those women in the old days that would take their daughters to bars? That's Kim Kardashian. It just looks a little different because you glamorize her lifestyle. So as she produces content, she's convincing you that the way her life is the way you want to live your life. Not only do you want to live a life like her, you want to look like her as well, which is why everybody looks just like her. So we're basically creating carbon copies of Kim Kardashians and nobody's saying anything against it. You're actually dating them. And then you're producing content associated to people just like them. So if you take a look at Mona Van's content and Kim Kardashian's content, it's the same fucking content. Same poses, same backlighting, same procedures. which means that Kim Kardashian has hosted events where she's teaching these women how to manipulate and abuse millions of people, not only through an audience, but through judicial systems, politics. She's worked with the Democratic Party. She's worked with the Democratic fucking Party. She has worked with the Democratic Party to fuel one-sided democracy, where she then claims to be a lawyer. Because Obama promised her a free law degree. Interesting, isn't it? How nobody is above the law except for them. So now they're trying to recreate, the black folk, the BLM black folk are trying to recreate what the Constitution means, because back in the early days, the Muslims and their own people convinced us as white people that it was normal to have slaves. And then when they were freed, they wanted free shit, even though they got free passage out of a shitty ass country. And then they never, ever, ever let it go. You might want to consider that your role in the movement of inequality has everything to do with who you are as people and how abusive you all are, which means that we're actually defending ourselves against you, which is why we don't hire you. You don't get the jobs that you say you want because you're not smart enough, because you didn't study enough, because your mom and dad didn't educate you as a child. And then you decided you wanted to go have sex instead of open up your textbooks. You're a bully and you're abusive. So we didn't want to hire you in your job. Then you didn't show up for work. Then you were abusive when you were at work, and you were lazy as shit, where you laid with your legs up and your pussy hanging out. And that's called the break room. And that's a black leader and a lowlife food runner. And that bitch has got dreads all the way down to her ankles, because the new bullshit that these fuckers are up to is secret cult shit to overthrow this country to where the whole country is ghetto ass losers like that. You do understand that, right? Yet all of you just turn a blind eye as if it's not happening. So we got fake ass people who are ghetto as fuck, doing nothing but garbage mind manipulation, which, by the way, they're not very good at, to where he's getting his dick sucked while she's running food. And that's professional to those two. He's got a son. She's only like 17 years old. He's an old man, and he's trying to get his dick sucked by a 17-year-old who's annoying as shit. So they don't even see personality. This is a black relationship. They don't even see conversations, personality, education, learning how to have ethics, morals, and values. They're just like walking drones of zombie. That's Black Lives Matter. And then they all come together and they say, well, we're all going to move to Chicago. And we're going to get this one voted into da-da-da-da-da. And then we're going to do... Is that really strategy? Is that really integrity associated to our election system? Is that integrity associated to the United States of America? Meaning they're trying to create racism, and they already have, which is now against white people because they have a chip on their shoulder because they didn't want to get an education, and high school is free. They're too busy wearing their pants down to their fucking ankles with their assholes hanging out because they planned on going to jail, getting ready to get butt fucked. This is how they speak. Racism. No one is above the law. Yeah, you're above the law, Letitia. Letitia. Her name is Letitia. Mona. Letitia. We live in America, not in Africa. We don't live in Persia because Persia doesn't exist. You all have created a fantasy life of facade, meaning this is the other thing they like to do, and this is all associated with social media. Today, here on this wonderful day of Veterans Day, we honestly could give two shits about all of our white soldiers. We only care about our black soldiers. We don't do anything for you financially. We make you wait for years and months to get medical treatment, but we are so grateful for each and every one of you. Right now, what we're doing in our war processes is we're trying to gather the mindset of people around this country to know that you get a lot of respect once you get a medal on your shoulder because you've killed a bunch of other people. We want you to know that as Vice President, my name is Kamala Harris, that that we will absolutely support you in all the things that you do. And we are privileged and hopeful, and we really, really are grateful for all of your service to this country. And we're going to take Donald Trump out because we don't like white people, even though he's very good at business and assisting the poor people and getting military veterans the medical care that they need. We're good at Donald Trump is very good at that. He's very good at moving money in the way that will actually assist you as a United States government. But we are ensuring you that we would rather have sidewalks that are warmed for the homeless, sidewalks that are warmed for the homeless versus actually assisting you homeless folk until the leader of China comes into town, and then we will move you somewhere else and clean up the streets. Don't you worry, because we have celebrities like Anne Hathaway, Sandra Bullock, Kim Kardashian, and Mona Van, who literally is absolutely nobody. However, we love utilizing her Persian skills to mind manipulate the entrepreneur sector, to let them think that that is how you are in business, because how you are in business and how you are on the internet is actually how you are in real life. We want you to know that the downfall of the United States of America is one of our number one priorities. That's why we've opened up the border. We've opened the border for votes to destroy the culture of this country so that we can recreate it and dismantle it into something that we know as black people, black sand niggers known as Persian Mona Van. You heard it, you heard me right, because the new nigga is going to be the Mona Van culture. And we plan on using that word because we definitely use that word on our fellow comrades, right, Snoop Dogg? It's all in your rap lyrics. So it's definitely okay for one person to say something. However, it's not okay for you to say something, but we definitely believe in equality. We definitely believe in equality, but only in equality in the way one person thinks it versus what other people think of it. So it's very important for you to listen to everything that I'm saying in this toxic conversation that's associated to the government, because nothing has changed in the 4 years except for the downfall of society, where we have more titties and pussies in our faces while men go to more dumbass fucking parties where they pretend to give money to charity when in reality they're actually licking each other's vaginas at Baby to Baby, where they don't actually give babies diapers and food. They actually are paying for next year's party. How much does it cost to pay for such a gala is my fucking question. And how much are these fucking whores making off of Baby to Baby when their husbands already have a shit ton of money? This is all nothing more than fucking glamour movement of psychosis, where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and you have no fucking care for anyone, not even your own fucking selves. That's how disconnected you are in your own selves, is you don't know shit about shit. Yet that's who they want to be leading the content creator spaces. CIA operative moves. Wow, that's really making it really a great life for all of us to live. Go be happy, they say. Go live in joy and happiness. Be optimistic. Fuck you. You go be optimistic with your fucking slutty ass prostitute bitch that you promoting all over your fucking platforms. You fucking know that what you're fucking doing, all of you, 100% of you, is completely illegal and completely wrong, which literally I'm exposing in this moment that you all are all above the law. And that ain't something to be proud of. That's something for our legislation to take a look at, to see their roles in it, because you're doing the same fucking thing. However, the celebrity and the Hollywood and the so-called entrepreneurs are doing even worse than what politics are doing. Because they are using manipulation tactics to take our minds, which we used to have logic, and twisting logic into a scrambled mess to where none of us know what's right and what's wrong, which means that we're going to suffer. We will suffer while you just float your asses off to the bank and go to another fucking Jets game while you look cool in your green fucking jacket.